Hello everyone, I hope you're doing good and staying safe. Welcome to SimpliCode's YouTube channel, and in today's session we are going to learn about SQL Regex. So let us just wait for another moment so that others will also join the session. In the meantime, I would like to tell you guys we have regular updates on multiple technologies on our channel. So if you're a tech geek and love watching tech videos, consider getting subscribed to our channel SimpliCode to stay updated with all the latest technologies. And also hit that bell icon to never miss an update from us. Well, I guess most of you guys have joined, so we can continue with the session. So, as discussed earlier, we will be discussing about SQL Regex, which is regular expressions. Now, as we all know, databases are enormous collections of data that are stored into organized data sets. But frequently, we encounter circumstances in which we need to get some particular data but lack the information necessary to filter it out. Regular expressions, which is a fantastic feature of SQL, comes in handy in this situation. So in this tutorial, I'll provide you with entire explanation of SQL regex, and we'll see how to use them through these mediums of various syntaxes and etc. So let me just present my screen so that we'll go to the presentation part. Alright, I hope my screen is clearly visible, guys. So let us first understand what is SQL regex. Now, SQL regex is defined as regular expression which contains a sequence of characters that are used to search and find a particular sequence of characters that matches a pattern. It is a rule that defines the way characters should appear on an expression. Search pattern is determined by the sequence of character or set text. Say for example, if you want to identify the data that contains a combination like a student's name, a contact number, email ID, we can use a regular expression. It is also used in cases where you need to identify a particular text pattern or you need to apply a filter over numbers, text or special characters data. Now you might be wondering, we have SQL like operation, so how is it different from the like operation? So basically guys, if you're working on complex data set and if your search pattern is quite difficult, in that case you have to use the SQL regex. So basically regular expression provide a powerful means of identifying a pattern within a body of text. So a pattern describes what the text to identify looks like, and it could be something quite simple such as that which describes any, let's say, a 3-letter word or a 4-letter word, to something quite complex like that which can describe as an email address. So it is a tool that gives you a concise and flexible way to identify strings of text for a text example like characters, words based on patterns and etc. So let us now understand why we use SQL regex. Now regular expressions provide a powerful and flexible pattern matching that can help us implement power search utilities for our database systems, and it is also not case sensitive. That is, it can work on both uppercase and the lowercase as well. So if you want a particular case, you can mention them and you can proceed with your database set. So basically, it provides a simple yet powerful mechanism for rapidly describing patterns and greatly simplifies the way in which you search, extract, format, and manipulate the data in your database. The second reason is it queries database to find a smaller subset of data within a table. Now, we all know that a simple form of pattern matching has been a part of SQL through the likes of the SQL like operator condition that provides two variants of wildcards with the 0 or more than one characters, that is the percentage and the underscore. So such characters are termed as meta characters as they describe the pattern rather than the partake in it. So a simple example could be like, if you want to find a name that starts with ABC. In that case, we use ABC percentage that matches any row that begins with the characters ABC, right? So in many cases, like is limiting and other solutions have been sought as mean to perform more complex queries. So that is the reason we started using SQL regex. And finally, as discussed, it supports various meta characters for more flexibility. Now, unlike SQL which provides only two wild characters, that is percentage and underscore, we have a lot of meta characters when we use regular expressions, which we'll be discussing in a while. So those are some of the reasons why we need to use SQL regex. And finally, we'll discuss how it is different from SQL like operation as well when we jump into MySQL for execution part. So let us now understand the syntax of regex, that is regular expression. The syntax is followed as select column list from table name where string column regular expression pattern. So basically this statement performs a pattern match of a string column against a pattern. So if a value in the string column matches the pattern, the expression in the where clause returns true, otherwise it returns false. So if either a string column or the pattern is null, the resultant set is also null. So again, we have the select statement, which is the standard SQL keyword to retrieve the data, and we have the column list, which basically specify the rows that are to be retrieved, and we have where clause, which is used to specify a condition while fetching the data, and then we have the field names, which represents the name of the column on which the regular expression needs to be applied on, and then we also have the regex p, which is the keyword that is used to find the pattern. And finally, you have to mention the pattern, which is basically a user defined regex pattern using certain meta characters to search the data. Alright, so let us now discuss some regular expression meta characters that are used in SQL. Now, the first one is the asterisk operator. So, the asterisk meta character basically is used to match 0 or more instances of the strings preceding it. Now, we'll understand this when we are executing in the MySQL workbench. So, I'll just explain the description of how this meta characters work. So, next we have the plus meta character, which is used to match one or more instances of a string. And next we have the question meta character, which is used to match 0 or only one instance of a string. And then we have the dot character, which is used to match any single character in exception of any new line. And then we have the caret, which is the symbol which you can see, and we have the vertical bar or the pipe symbol, which is used to start the matching at beginning and which is used to find the characters alternatively respectively. Next, we have the square brackets and the closed brackets, which are used to match any of the characters in the enclosed characters, which basically matches all the characters that are mentioned within the brackets. And if you want to find exact exact name or the character's name, you have to take the closed brackets. And then we have the closed brackets, and well, we have the caret meta character, which is used to match only those characters excluding the ones that are enclosed within the square brackets. And finally, and next we have the uppercase and lowercase characters as well. If you want to specify only, if you want to retrieve only certain data which is in, like, if you want in uppercase letters, you can use from A to Z, which in upper cases, and similarly in lower cases, that is from A to Z. And finally, you can also perform operations on the numerical values as well. So within these square brackets, you can mention any numbers starting from ranging from 0 to 9, which basically matches any digits from 0 through 9. So these are the most commonly used regular expression meta characters. So let us now discuss some SQL regex operation and see how they exactly work. So you can also take a snapshot of this so that it can be handy in future as well. So for example, if I have an expression where I'm stating as ABC, that means the query is basically searching the exact character sequence, that is ABC, that it should be in a proper sequence, but it can be in anywhere, that can be in any position of the string. And next we have the caret ABC, that is ABC should start at the beginning of the string. And similarly, we have ABC dollar sign, which will basically search for ABC pattern at the end of the string. And we have A pipe B, which will retrieve the values which has either a character A or B. Now we can also perform multiple operations using various meta characters simultaneously. Now if you look at here, I have taken the caret, I have taken the pipe symbol as well as the dollar symbol. So which basically states that it will look for the string ABC at the beginning or at the end of the string. So and so on, you can look at different operations, which we'll now discuss as we jump into the MySQL workbench for execution part. So let us just jump into MySQL workbench. So as you can see, MySQL workbench has started. Let us now consider a simple table to perform MySQL regular operation. So let us just consider the Netflix table, which is in our database. So let me just retrieve the values. I'm using select star from Netflix. So the Netflix table has various attributes here, guys, which has show ID, type, title, director, country, date, which is added, release year, rating, duration, and genre. So let us perform some basic to advanced, SQL regular queries. So let us start with a simple one which matches literally the complete sequence of a string that we've discussed earlier. So let's say if I want to find the title from the Netflix table where the title starts with, let's say, let us take any sequence like ran, okay? In that case, the following query would be select title from Netflix where title regexp is the keyword, and within a single quotes mention the characters that you want to see. So let us take ran, as I've said earlier. Let us just execute this query and we'll see the output. So it will basically search for all those titles which has ran, that is ran in the same order or the same sequence. So if you look at here paranoia, which has a ran in the same or the in the same order. And similarly we have transformers again, which it has ran. And if you look at the next title, which is how to become a tyrant, similarly in tyrant we have ran, and so on. So in this case you can take the multiple characters to find a complete sequence that is in its original sequence. Alright, moving ahead, not just only characters, guys, you can also find for a particular word, which is basically a substring. So let's say if I want to find, let us consider love. So if you want love in our title, let us just mention love in the single brackets and we'll see the output. So as you can see, there are a total of 3 titles that has a love substring in the complete title. For example, Sam Smith, Love Goes, Live at Abbey Road Studios, and next we have Love Don't Cost a Thing, and finally Love in a Puff. Alright, moving ahead, let us now discuss another example where we'll use the asterisk, the plus sign, and the question mark. So let's say if I want to find the title from the Netflix table again, where in the pattern is it starts with A and N, and it should at least have a one instance that it occurs, and finally it should have an K. So what, I know it's a bit confusing, so let me just write the query so that you guys will understand. So select title from Netflix where title regexp an star operator and mention K. So what this query does is it will find all the titles from the Netflix table which has A, which has N. That is, now as we discussed, the asterisk operator finds characters which have 0 or more instances that occurs in a table, right? So in that case the asterisk operators work. So let us now execute and we'll see the output. So as you can see, these are all the titles that has A and K as the sequence, wherein it can have 0 or more than 1 N. So if you look at Sankofa, it has A and K, which has 1 N. And similarly, if you look at the Bangkok breaking, it does not have N in between. That is because it can have 0 or more than 1 N. So in that case, we are taking the Bangkok breaking as well in our title, and similarly the others as well. So in this way, if you want to use this asterisk operator wherein the first one has a character and then the next one has 0 or more than 1 instance of appearing in the sequences that you have mentioned, in that case you'll use the asterisk operator. So let us now take another example where we'll understand how to use the pipe meta character. Let's say if you want to find the genre of all the details of the titles, where it can be crime or it can be either thriller or it can be fantasy. So in that case, the following query would be select star from Netflix where genre regexp within single quotes. Now I want the genre to be either crime, and I'll mention the pipe symbol. So do not mention the space here, guys. Directly mention it. And why it can be thriller, and finally it can be a fantasy as well. So let us just execute this statement and we'll see the output. So as you can see, if I scroll this a bit, so it will display the records of all the titles that were added to Netflix, which has genre of either crime, thriller, or fantasy. So if you look at this, for example, title Ganglands, which is crime TV shows. Similarly, second one we have Crime Again, and if you look at, we have a thriller here, which is basically movie Paranoia, and similarly we have fantasy as well. I guess if you scroll down a bit, we can find it. So as you can see, we have action, adventure, sci-fi, and fantasy. So it will basically search for all the substrings which has a crime, a thriller, or fantasy substring in the genre names. So this is how you can use uh, the pipe operator instead of, now when we, if you remember, if we use the SQL like operator, which we use the percentage sign, right? So in that we have to use multiple or operator in order to find the result. So in this case, we are just mentioning the pipe operator, which will automatically search for all the uh, characters or the strings that you have mentioned. Alright, let us now move to another example wherein discuss another scenario wherein we'll match multiple characters with a single characters. So what I mean from that is, let's say if I want to find the details of all the titles which has a combination of characters B, C, and R. So in that case, the following query would be select star from Netflix where title REGEXP. Now within the close brackets, I'll mention two words, that is BR. Sorry, BC. Let us take as a BC, and I'll close the brackets and I'll mention R next. So it will basically search for all the patterns which has either BR or CR in the title name. So let us just execute this and we'll see the output. Okay, let us just only mention the title so that we have a clear idea. All right. So as you can see, if you look at the pattern BR, right? So in the first one, we have the Great British, which has BR continuously. So it does not mean that it can have at any random position. It should be in a sequential order, that is continuous position. So BR, we have British, right? Next, if you look at the Bridgerton, again, we have BR. And similarly, if you look at the Cobra Kai, we have BR again. So that was one instance. Now, if you look at the CR combination, right? If you compare to the CR combination, we have crime stories, which has CR. And similarly, if you scroll down a bit as well, you can find some more examples of CR as well. So again, you can find Crocodile Dundee in Los Angeles, which again starts with CR pattern. So in this way, you can find multiple characters while mentioning them in the square brackets and with a single character as well. Alright, let us now move to another example where we'll use the close brackets. Now the close brackets is complete opposite of the square brackets, which will find the exact word that you are trying to find. So let's say if I want to retrieve the director details of the shows that they have directed, and the director's name should be either, let's say, Anthony, on it should he can either have his name has that can start with B or a character C. So in that case, what I'll do is select director from Netflix where director REGEXP mention the single quotes, and we'll use this operator, which is basically the caret symbol, and within the close brackets I'm mentioning Anthony, that is the director names should start with Anthony, or his name can start with B, or his name can start with C. So this is one of the pattern that we are looking into now. So let us see how it executes. So let me just display the results. Alright, also we will use the order by so that we'll have an the ascending, descending or ascending order as per our wish. So alright, as you can see in the resultant set, the director's name has started with B, so which is satisfying a condition which you have taken B. And similar, if you scroll down, we have the director's name starting with C, which is again satisfying the condition that we have taken. And also, it will look for the director name whether it is starting with Anthony or not. So I don't think we have Anthony here in this. So it will omit. So you can basically take any other character as well. So let's say if I want the director names to start with M, so in that case it will search for it as well. So if you scroll down, it will display the records of all the directors who has M as the starting letter. So we have like Mark Romson, Mark Thornton, and Martin Campbell, and similarly, etc. So in this way, you can use the close brackets with the caret symbol as well as the pipe symbol to find another pattern in this way as well. So now if you want to find the director's name other than M, B or C, in that case you have to use the negation operator, which is basically another caret which should be embedded inside the close brackets. So when you execute this query, alright, so we have to use the square brackets here in order to retrieve all the details of director's name whose name doesn't start with the characters M, B or C. So if you look at the resultant set, it is displaying the directors names like starting with A, D, F, G, H, J and so on, S, T, W and Y. That is basically except M, B and C characters, it will display the records of all the directors. So in this way, you can also use this kind of pattern in order to find the data as well. So let us look into our final example wherein we'll perform a complex regular expression search, wherein we'll find the title, the directors and the release year and the type, that is the genre, from the table where the title name will be within a range. So let us consider a range here, that is the all these the title direct where the title name starts with a character C and it can be in between C to K, and it should have a type from Netflix where title REGEXP is a keyword. Open the single brackets. I'll mention the caret symbol and let us mention the range now. So I want the title's name in the range of the characters C to K. So let us mention them and we'll close the brackets and then mention the dot symbol because it will allow you to find a single character in between, and we'll have a total of 12 characters. So the title name should be of total 12 characters and we have to mention the dollar symbol. So let us just execute this statement and we'll see the output. So if you look at the resultant set in the we have the title names which has a total of 12 letters. So if you count the first title, which is final account, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12, so it has exactly 12 characters in it, and it is also satisfying the condition within the range, that is it is starting with the character F which is lying in the range of C to K, and similarly all the others as well. So in this way you can also mention the range in the pattern that you want to search for as well, and you can also use the numerical values. Now we don't have as such of numerical values to retrieve, so I'm not taking any examples. So I hope you understood this various scenario, guys. So that brings us to the end of today's session. That was all about the SQL regex operator. Now as we know that the advantage of using a regular expression is that you're not limited to search for a string based on a fixed pattern with the percentage sign or an underscore, which is the wildcard characters in the like operator. So the regular expression have more metacharacters to construct flexible as well as the complex patterns. So that is the reason why we are using the SQL regex operation. And coming to the disadvantages of using regular expression is that it is quite difficult to understand and maintain a complicated pattern. So if you're an SQL beginner, you might struggle with all these patterns. So with a question given, you have to change the patterns accordingly. So if you're working on first time with this regular expression, so you might find it a bit difficult. So therefore, you should describe the meaning of the regular expression in the comment of the SQL statement so that you can understand clearly. In addition, the speed of the data retrieval in some cases is also decreased if use complex pattern in regular expression. So that brings us to the end of today's session, guys. I hope you understood all the concepts that were discussed. Thank you for watching the video, guys. If you found this tutorial informative and helpful, please leave us a like and share it with your friends and colleagues. And we also have a dedicated playlist on SQL wherein we have discussed various concepts and topics. So you can check out that as well. And let us know in the comment section below to which topic we have to cover next, and we'll be taking your suggestions as well. And if you have any further queries regarding any of the topics covered in today's session, feel free to let us know in the comment section below, and a team of experts will be more than happy to help preserve all your careers at the earliest. Until next time, stay safe and keep coding.